Like, remember when they came up with the new tasting Vegemite? Remember the name they gave that? What was it? Vegemite 2.0 or something?
Snack 2.0, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what kind of research came into that? It's like, oh, well, let's try and appeal to the funkin' happening crowd, millennium crowd.
Let's appeal to the filthy millennials.
Yeah.
What do they like? They like eyes in front of things, lowercase eyes, and they like numbers.
Now that
Snack 2.0. That
was something that was just begging for something to be brought out to the internet and asking for internet consensus, I reckon.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they called it something else. But anyway.
I would have called it shitty McShit taste.
You're not a Vegemite fan?
I like it. I don't know. It's just it's gross, but it's good.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a rite of passage. If you're in Australia, you have to try Vegemite at least once.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you're not a true Australian, and you can fuck off.
Yeah.
This is one you brought up.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that, you know how you notice, like, these things that were, like, commonplace in the past, and then they just get, passed away over time?
Yeah.
This is one of those. Like, apparently, back in the day before everything became industrialized and when electricity became commonplace, people tended to sleep differently. It wasn't that 8-hour burst. It was more like you're doing sleep in 2 shifts.
Right.
So you'd kind of like sleep for about 4 hours, and then you'd get up, and it's like this real twilight limbo thing for about 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then you go asleep again for another 4 hours, and then you get up the next day.
Okay.
And yeah, just looking at this article, there was actually a term for it. Oddly enough, that's French.
Damn it, French people.
They called it Dorveille.
Yeah.
Or wake sleep. Which basically means it's it means like a hypnotic state. So that idea of, halfway between sleep and awakeness.
Yeah.
Which is basically me without my cups of coffee for the day. But, this is something that people actually consciously took a part in everyday life. If we were ever going to try and go back into the past and grab some things and bring it back to the present, that's one thing I'd like to bring back. I reckon that'd be awesome. I mean, I know there's all those insomniacs out there as well that feel like there's this pressure that you must sleep. Wouldn't that take a bit of the heat off where it's like, okay, well, you can have your 4-hour burst, then you can stay up for a little while, and then kind of do the rest of the stint. Like, it's okay to be up and about. Yeah. Like, there was famous people that used to do this sort of stuff as well. Like Benjamin Franklin, he'd use his zombie time to take cold air baths.
Which, do you want to unpack the cold air baths?
Well, I'm just imagining this dude wearing his bifocals and his, Minuteman hat, and he's in like a cold bath, and it's like, oh, I just came up with an invention. I might invent the freezer.
Oh, dear.
See, these days it's like, how like all the greatest ideas happen when you're sitting on the toilet?
Yeah.
I reckon that's what it was like in the past. It's like all these great things happen during Dorveille.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That explains why, people are like, no, I'm going to go to sleep, they're going to stay up till 3 in the morning and go, why do dogs have noses? I should write that thing. I should do this. I should do that. And then they just don't get any sleep, and then they're zombified for the rest of the fucking day.
Yeah.
That's why. It's an offshoot from that.
Yeah. Well, let's bring back Dorveille.
Let's do it.
Let's bring back the watch.
Excellent.
Yeah. Make it sound cool, like a Game of Thrones thing.
Hang out with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what might happen. It's like if we partake in Dorveille, we might sound articulate and silver-tongued like he.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Quick thing on Peter Dinklage. He did the voice for the ghost that your character has in Destiny. Do you vaguely remember any of this?
Destiny? You
Yeah,
mean like video game Destiny?
Yeah. Video
Not
game
too
Destiny.
familiar with that, unfortunately.
Basically,
I know it was just like an overhyped thing that didn't really live up to its destiny.
I kind of dug it, and one of the reasons why I dug it was because Peter Dinklage, and they got rid of him. They replaced him with fucking Nolan North, which I'm okay with, but it's not Peter Dinklage.
What, you mean like for the sequel?
No, they just completely replaced him for the entire game.
Oh, so he was going to be cast and then they...
He was cast, he did all the voices up until The Taken King, like the new expansion that's come out, and then they just completely replaced him because...
Oh, the expansion game they...
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they, so they did all the voices for that with
Yeah.
Nolan North, and then they just redid the entire game and just completely cut out Dinklage. It's like, that's sad though. I liked Peter Dinklage.
But why is that? Because that was
Basically
his,
because...
that was his Tyrion Lannister time? Or...
basically because he was so busy doing all these other things and being Tyrion Lannister and stuff like that. They couldn't really get a hold of him. Bungie couldn't really get a hold of him as much as they liked.
Oh, okay.
So they just said, yeah, sorry, but we're going to do this instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at least it's Nolan North.
Yeah.
I could think of worse people who, bring in.
Also, incidentally, I reckon Nolan North is probably the best ever voiceover for Deadpool. Voice guy for Deadpool. Just saying.
I'd agree with that if Ryan Reynolds didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit like, you know how like you come up with your best actor for Batman?
Yeah.
Voice actor, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Deadpool, live action, Ryan Reynolds. Voice actor,
Nolan North.
Nolan North.
This is an article from The Onion, and the title is Video Game Henchmen Plan Meet Up Around Explosive Barrels. Boy, does this happen a lot.
Yeah, it's like when you showed me this article, Luke, it's like I read it and it's like, yes, that does happen, and I didn't really realise that until now. Because you'd often play a game and it's like, rather than needing to... Well, it doesn't happen so much now, but it used to happen when you were a kid when things were a lot simpler back in the video game days.
It was a simple time.
Yeah, when you're eager to find different ways of basically nuking your enemies without punching the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look, there's a barrel. Or, oh, look, there's a bag of popcorn. The sort of things that you can basically constitute violence.
Even moving on from Streets of Rage and games like that, like, there was all these explosive barrels in Doom.
Yeah.
You're on a base on Mars. What possible reason do you need explosive barrels for?
I just liked how the demons would just congregate around those. It's like,
I remember this. There was this one level where it was basically you had row of explosive barrels.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a big square, and then they'd have everyone in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And anytime you shot any of the barrels in close proximity to each other, and then set off all the other ones.
Yeah.
So you pretty much didn't have to do shit. You just go, yep, done, bang.
Yeah, just don't get too close.
And just mop up the rest.
Yeah. It was kind of like, what the bad guys did in Pantomime. How they tried to give the gag away very subtly to the kids. And it's like, oh, he is evil. Look what he's going to do because he so subtly told us. And you have these bad guys just like hanging around the barrels. And it's like, oh, what should I do? Oh, hang on. You can actually manipulate those barrels. Light them up! Yeah. But that's the sort of things they did. They thought it was good to hold their business around the barrels. And what are some of the things that they would discuss in their high-powered meetings?
Well, there's a quote here. When we considered the best place to exchange the latest information on warehouse guarding strategies, we all immediately thought of the spot by the large red barrels. The one with the large flame symbols on them to indicate flammability, said one of the identically dressed guards, citing the barrel's convenient central location, which each of their henchmen happened to walk past at one point or another during their regimented back-and-forth patrols. Okay. The plan is to sync up, gather together near the barrels, and then remain there for approximately 8 seconds to share input, feedback, and ideas before resuming our guard duty. If all goes well, we'd likely consider returning to the same spot for a quick check-in meetings every minute or so. Oh, dear.
Well,
I love The Onion.
I
really do.
That's commitment, isn't it?
Anyway, it is getting dark. This was a very short article. This has been Ruku and M Explains. I'm Ruku. This is whatever is calling himself this week.
M, we got to sign off before I turn into a vampire again.
Yeah, we have to, put garlic paste on him to make sure he doesn't turn. So, I'm going to do that now before he starts eating people. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Don't know why I keep doing outros and intros because I never use them anyway, but catch you guys in the next one.
Wide hand gestures!
Wide hand gestures!